it's very simple. What we're talking about is full and just inclusion in the decision-making processes that shape opportunities for health and shape our landscape. Uh, there is not every community, not every group has always had that opportunity for inclusion, and we want to make sure that folks, particularly who have been most affected by the health disparities that have emerged from this obesity epidemic, are fully included in crafting the solutions. And then finally, what expectations do you have for the outcomes of this engagement process? And I should emphasize that whatever you write here is not carved in stone. We fully anticipate that the you'll probably learn things along the way that cause you to shift your strategies or tactics, or perhaps come up with a new policy objective that you didn't consider at first. So this is not necessarily, we're not asking this question to drive towards a predetermined outcome, but really based on your knowledge of your community, where do you anticipate now this engagement process would lead to? What do you think it will position you for? We do have a number of resources available with links on our website in case you'd like to do a deeper dive into some strategies that have been proven effective in other communities around our nation. PolicyLink and Prevention Institute have done a lot of work on these issues, and I'd encourage you to check out their website. Of course, the CDC has also done a lot of work, and so we do have those links available. Finally, I'd like to end on an inspirational note. First Lady Michelle Obama has certainly made this a centerpiece of her agenda in terms of creating better opportunities for health, particularly among children. But one thing that she emphasizes is that it's going to take all of us to really get a handle on this. We didn't get into this health problem via just one factor, and so it's going to take all of us addressing multiple factors. That includes nonprofits, businesses, local governments, and other forms of community engagement. Finally, there's my contact information. And what I'd like to do now is unmute the lines. And when I do that, what I'd like to request is that everyone, if you have a question, just please identify yourself and your organization. And if you please have patience with me, I am trying to figure out exactly how to unmute you at this point, and I believe I can do that here. Just a moment. And I apologize, the unmute function is not. Tell you what, while we work to undo the unmute function, we also
Muted. Unmuted.
we also have a opportunity for you to submit questions over the through the WebEx function. And the first question is, can we have a copy of these slides once this webinar is online afterwards? The answer is yes. We will be posting this presentation on our website, so I'd be happy to provide those to you. And let's see, the next question is, oh, it's a comment. It says, great, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, there's a question from Crystal Reynolds. Is there a cap on the indirect rate? So Northwest Health Foundation has an indirect policy that allows up to 15% indirect costs. So for example, if you had a scope of work that cost $8,000 in direct costs, you would be eligible to include 15%, which would be $1,200. So your total ask amount would be $9,200. And as I was just speaking right now, it looks like we have figured out how to unmute you. So at this point, I would like to open the call to anybody who would like to express a question verbally. And again, please identify your name and organization. And we are actually having to unmute you individually one by one. So we're going down to 39 people and unmuting you. So if you're still, if you're trying to speak and you're muted, I apologize. We're trying to get this done as quickly as possible. So any questions from folks on the phone? Okay. Well, we've done two community forums, one in Madras and one yesterday in Roseburg. And at both of those community forums, a question I got was if I could provide an example of a very sort of effective grant that Northwest Health Foundation has made in the past to a community partner that was really uh, delivered greater opportunities for healthy aging, active living. And there's one that we're very excited about. It's an organization in Hood River called The Next Door. They had a program called Nuestra Voz, Nuestra Salud. And this is actually a 3-year grant program. It's an implementation grant, but it was really focused around
Muted.
One
Unmuted.
was to advocate with the local parks district to establish the first community park in the town of Odell, which they were successful with. Second was to get greater Latino community representation on the Hood River County School District wellness community, which they were successful in doing, and were able to get some new wellness policies implemented at the school district level. And then third was around some community design issues in Hood River, particularly around walkability and around some affordable housing developments. And all of this did require a pretty substantial amount of community engagement and mobilization. And they had some, again, some very discrete policy objectives. So when they did submit their proposal to us, so that was they were kind of already at that place where they were ready to submit for implementation funding. And the intent with this grant program is to help many more communities really refine their strategies and their objectives so that they are at that place where they're ready in the near future to submit more substantial proposals for larger sums of money to actually implement a set of strategies. So there's another question from Ashley Jones about, is there a specific amount or match that needs to be contributed to this grant? The answer is no, we do not have a match requirement. I know a lot of funders do. We really think for the community engagement grants, the whole point is to allow communities to give them their sort of time and space to figure things out so that they are better positioned to have a more substantial proposal around a defined scope of work down the road. And so we felt it would be counterproductive to really have any sort of match requirement, because we're really hoping to just give a little infusion of resources that in a way that allows organizations to be more competitive down the road. So no match requirement, which I know is probably going to be good news for a lot of folks on the phone. So do we have any other questions either over the, okay, so we just got one more. There's a question of, this is a 1-year grant. Are there opportunities available from Northwest Health Foundation for additional dollars? The answer is yes. So and I should emphasize first, while these grants can be used for up to 12 months, that is flexible. So if you have sort of a scope of work that you feel can be accomplished in 6 months or 9 months, that's fine with us. With regards to other grant opportunities, we do have other grant programs available at Northwest Health Foundation that may be a good fit. The Depending on where you are located, if you're in the sort of the Kaiser Permanente service region, we do have a grant program through the Kaiser Permanente Community Fund, which actually right now is our largest grant funding program. And we have funded, while it's not exclusively focused on healthy food and active living, we have certainly funded a number of those sorts of initiatives through KPCF. We also have some other grant programs that are available on sort of a more sporadic basis that are not. I mean, KPCF has a very defined grant cycle, and it's available every year. Not all of our grant programs are available every year. The best thing to do is if you're to get registered on our listserv, and that way, as soon as we post funding opportunities, they're distributed to everybody on the listserv. Have a question from Kyle Rogers. The indirect rate is 15%, and that's true. Yes, we can pay. Our policy is to pay up to 15% indirect costs. And just to be clear, that's not if you say that's not in addition to the $10,000 limit that is that we have on this particular grant program. So it's not like you could request $11,500. The indirect cost has to be included in the total ask amount. I have a question from Ashley Jones. Are there any restrictions on what the funds can be used for? I wouldn't use the term restrictions, but we do have a particular interest in community engagement activities that really look at the broader policy, social, or environmental factors that influence health behaviors. We're not as interested in purely educational approaches to the issue, or approaches that look at strictly at individual behavior change strategies. So we're not as interested in supporting things like healthy cooking classes or walking clubs, but we are interested in really helping communities define what sort of policy or environmental change or systemic change objectives might be appropriate in your community, and the most developing a strategy is to actually address those. So there's a question from James Beecraft. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Is there a chance your oral presentation itself will be posted as well to share with key leaders and potential partners? That is our intent, and I have to apologize. Again, this is my shortcoming as a technological capacity is I was not reminded. I didn't start hitting the record button until I was already a few slides into the presentation. So I apologize for that. We fully intend to post it. However, it appears as though at this point, because I was not very smart about things, where the first sort of half of the slides will not have the audio. So apologize for that, but we will have it posted with the audio from that point forward. Okay, question from Brisa Culver said the audio is cutting out during the description of the Hood River project. Could I give another example of a really strong project that we funded through our Healthy Eating Active Living program? Sure, I'd be happy to. So another project that we were able to fund is actually out of Benton County. This was also a 3-year implementation project. But it's working particularly in South Corvallis, which is the lowest income part and most diverse part of Corvallis. And they're working at a number of strategies to improve opportunities for healthy eating and active living. First, they relocated the farmers market from the fairgrounds. And I say they, there was a coalition of partners that was led by Benton County Health Department. Uh, Convinced the farmers market to relocate from the fairgrounds to South Corvallis and to accept SNAP as a form of payment. Um, they were also able to um, work with the Parks Department to sort of make some adjustments to the one sort of destination park in South Corvallis to make it more family friendly. And then they're also able to work with the Lincoln K through 8 school in the neighborhood to make it easier for kids to, or for families to let their kids walk to school. Again, with that particular grant, or the Benton County Health Department had already gone through a pretty substantial community engagement process, so they were more competitive for that implementation grant. And what we're hoping to do with this grant program is allow more communities to go through that sort of process that Benton County had the luxury of engaging in prior to submitting a proposal to us, so that more communities around our region are more competitive for larger funding sources. Great. So, okay. Is Do we have any other questions, either over the phone or submitted via the web application? No? Okay. Well, again, I really want to thank you for taking time out of your day and joining us. If you have any specific questions about a project that you're thinking of, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call. And again, if you are interested in submitting a proposal, please do register your intent to apply by the 28th, because organizations that haven't submitted their intent to apply and aren't in our system will not be eligible after that date to submit a proposal. So that's really the first step. Um, Thank you again, and I hope you all have a terrific day, and thanks for everything you're doing to improve the health of your communities. Bye.